Yo, I know, I haven't been very good with uploading here, have I? But with good reason. I thought I'd start with something pretty important, just because I did a winter kit haul the other week and I spoke a lot about my Hooker challenges, and they're a brilliant shoe, don't get me wrong, but there is a new arrival that I wanted to speak about in this video too. And that is the arrival of my little boy, who's gonna be with us in May. It still hasn't hit home. You know, I was gonna script this part and I was like, you know what, just speak about how you feel. It's a mad feeling knowing that not only Hannah, my wife, is obviously growing a human inside of it, but to now have someone relying on you, looking up to you, and having that, it's not a pressure, I can't explain it. It's not a pressure to kind of live up to those standards or live up to what your idea of being a parent is, or if you compare yourself to your own parents or whatever. The way that I explained it to my wife the other week was it's like nostalgia for the future. Like, I miss the future, and it's such a weird concept, but that's the way that I'm gonna put it. So my little boy, but he's gonna be with us May 16th. The Ultra, the Ultra is on the 3rd of May. So with my wife's blessing, she has said, yep, do it. She's gonna be very pregnant at that time. She's gonna come and support me. So we'll see how all of that goes. But listen, I'm just gonna train as if everything's gonna go to plan. Ultra on the 3rd, my little boy comes on the 16th, and then get straight into dad life. I'll be showing you all the little turns and twists from my training, etc. up until then. And obviously beyond that as well. This isn't just the Ultra channel, it's everything that comes into my life in the meantime. And my little boy is now a huge part of that. So it's not only now do the Ultra for obviously myself to scratch that itch of doing something hard, you know, but it's also now fulfilling the role model that I saw my dad as when I was growing up. I'd always see him training on the punching bag, be in the home gym, like, and he was always, and he still is, like, I mean, he just turned 80, but he's still pretty in shape for 80. But I always saw him as this strong, fit, capable, like, man. He was my dad, you know, like fucking superhero. And it's just kind of given me another reason to look after myself physically, mentally, and if I can be that for my son, job's fucking done, do you know? So I've got a good role model. I'm very lucky in that regard. But yeah, there we go. There's the bombshell. I still love my hookers, by the way. Nothing wrong with these. They're absolute bombers, but figured I'd throw a little bit of a hook in there. Such is the game of YouTube. So in this video, I know I haven't uploaded in a couple of weeks, but there's been some bigger shifts with my training now. So I've completely gone out of that 5K phase where I was looking to improve my 5K time. My runs basically have 4 key things in mind at the moment. So I've got a longer run, obviously, which is going to be getting longer each week. Eventually into sort of Jan, Feb, I'll start doing those sort of like back to back. So 2 long runs back to back, or 2 hard runs back to back, just to get my legs used to the fatigue without causing any unnecessary injuries. Right, I don't know where I'm going to put this in my YouTube video for this training update, but we recovered from being violently sick last week after, I don't know what caused it. I went out for my dad's birthday, and it's not like I had a lot of food, I just had a lot of different dishes. I had like a Thai curry, really sweet dish, fuck me, I really brought my poles with this, a really sweet dish. Strava's mental sometimes, like, where the fuck's the track? Up the river path, is it? But anyway, yeah, so I had this Thai dish, then this Korean fried chicken dish, bits of it that is, not like loads of it, and bit of my dad's chicken fajita dish. Speaking of walkers, difficult with these challenges on, these Hoka challenges that I got. The grip's not amazing when you're going up things like this. This is where my Solomons would have been a bit better, but you live and learn with footwear. It's boggy as fuck, I don't want to get my feet wet. I just can't be arsed with wet feet at the moment. It's not that bad actually, I'm just being a bit of a wimp. Fuck me. That's why you strength train. That is why you strength train. Honestly, I don't know if you saw that. Slipped, not a big deal like, but it's so easy to just tweak your knees and ankles when you slip or slightly roll them. So that's why you got to keep your strength training up if you're a runner or doing longer distances. And obviously it helps with like power output, but injury prevention, gone again, is massive. And it's just silly little things like that that can really just ruin your day, ruin your training, especially when you're on just terrain like this where there's no grip at all, muddy, boggy,
And that just went on an absolute side quest from what I was saying about the stomach. And another side note, heart rate's gone up to zone 3, so nothing wrong with that, but in training on these longer runs, as I build them up, just getting more in tune with heart rate. I don't really want it to spike to zone 3 that much, so when it does go up, I either slow my pace down if it's on a flat, and then I know obviously if it's an uphill like this is, obviously then to go more like a power hike or fast walking, as I like to call it. Power hike just means you're walking, doesn't it? Honestly, this is like 4 foot tall. Trying to get through it when you're 6 foot, not so easy. Pretty annoying. But as I was saying with the sickness, I just had a few different dishes that were like a concoction of different spices, flavours, etc. My stomach, nah. I've definitely got a more sensitive stomach anyway, but I was driving home getting these horrendous cramps in my stomach. Like, this ain't gonna be good. So when I got home, I ran straight to the toilet and I was sat on the toilet, and the next thing you know, the worst pain I've ever had with a cramp, and everything just came this way. Throwing up, and that was me for the next sort of 90 minutes. Cramping, horrendous pain. I dialed 999 on my phone at one point just because I was like, this next one's not going to be good. I just kept throwing up in that cycle for that whole 90 minutes, which was not nice. But after the food was out my system, my stomach did calm down a bit, and over the next 24 hours it got better and better. But then the whole of last week, I just couldn't really train with any decent intensity just because my stomach was so sore. Obviously when you're running, it just doesn't feel good. Painful was just affecting it really badly. So I had to just ease up on that. A few days completely off training. And then a couple of days ago, I decided to just get out for a zone 2 chill run. Thank fuck, that's the hill done now. Into the wind. Just to test it out, and it did feel good. I'll take a look at this. I haven't done this route before. Not a bad view with the sunrise. But yeah, as I was saying, zone 2 run, that felt good. Did a mini threshold session yesterday to make sure our turnover was good and I wasn't just going to flake out. It was good. So today's the first day that I'm like, right, okay, can start ramping things back up with this ultra training. And honestly, the last October and beginning of November, just shit luck with traveling. Immune system probably just wasn't where it needed to be, and I've been getting smashed by colds, food poisoning, and then this just random flare up. So touch fucking wood, that's it now for a fair few months.
I'm still keeping a threshold session in. I think that, to be honest, with threshold sessions, I'm just going to keep them in for the rest of my life. Ever since I sort of discovered or got into them a lot more with this 5K block, I fucking love them and the benefits I can feel in any kind of run that I do. So threshold will always be there. I've just brought in hill sessions as well. So
morning. Can't really speak that much. My lips are numb from the obvious warm weather we're having at the moment in Scotland. Just finishing up a intro hill session, and the ultra that I'm doing in May has over 3,000 meters of elevation. Figured now's a good time to start getting some elevation to my training. So it's only very early on in this training phase, but I've just found, I'll show you in a second when I turn back, relatively short, gentle incline hill that just did some hill reps on, hill sprints. 6 sets, 20 seconds, more like strides rather than a full-on sprint, and then a minute sort of jog down to recover. And all that's about is just building up my exposure to steeper inclines. And what I really like about the hill reps as well, it's very low impact going uphill versus flat or downhill. It's more concentric muscle action, so your muscles contract as they exert force, and then you take away any of that eccentric loading because you're on a hill. And that eccentric is where your muscle lengthens and produces force as well. And that's often what makes you super sore, so you don't get any of that. So it's quite a nice session to fill in the gaps through the week, so it doesn't affect long runs, your gym sessions, etc. It's a really good option for me right now. And the best thing is, I live in a little town in Scotland called Auchterarder, and it's just on the Ochills as well. So my training grounds for this ultra is basically stuff like this, which is brilliant. So I'm in Glen Sherrup at the moment, which is all this. And then that reservoir behind me, if my camera's stable enough, and you can hear me over my watch saying I'm going too slow, that's Glen Sherrup Reservoir. So all around here, it's like a 10-minute drive. And if you're around this area, Perth and Kinross, it's probably one of the most accessible training areas, I think, straight off the A9. And I know I did a kit haul the other week, but I think I'm gonna have to get some warmer kit. I mean, at the moment I'm not freezing, but the shorts, I don't know how much longer they're gonna cut it, especially if the wind ever picks up here. And when I was in the military, I've got some cold injuries in my hands, nothing crazy, but I noticed my hands are a lot more susceptible to the cold. I think I'm gonna get some mitts to put over these, because again, my hands are pretty fucking painful right now. But woe is me, it's not that bad, is it? Really not that bad, is it? So I'll just quickly show you what kind of hill I've been doing these sprints on. And it's not a hill in the sense of you have to power hike up it. Like, don't think it's power hiking training. It's a hill that you want to be able to keep some kind of speed up. And I'll keep calling them hill strides, because you know when you're warming up and you do your strides, if you're running, it's kind of like that. You want to be able to get some decent cadence going, open things up a little bit for this kind of hill training. If I'm going to be power hiking, that's going to be a completely different hill setup. So I'll show you that on the channel when I get to it. But I'm just running down the hill at the moment. You might have thought, well, that's not a hill. Slight incline. So let's see if you can see it from this angle. So you kind of see the gradient. Not really, can you? It just looks flat, if I'm being honest. But it's a slight gradient down, and then coming up, you can see decent enough going up for me. As I was hitting that sort of like 10-15 second mark, my heart rate was really starting to spike, which is pretty much what I wanted. And then by the end of that 20 seconds, when I was stopping, obviously back it off so I could then recover. So hopefully, if you're somebody who wants to get into hills, or start the hill sprinting, that gives you a little bit of a better idea of where you can start. Like I said, 6 sets of 20 seconds. If you want a heart rate zone to aim for, I'd say zone 3, maybe low zone 4. Side note on that, there's always going to be like a slight lag with your effort and what your heart rate monitor picks up. So a lot of the time you do have to go by feel. 15-20 seconds typically isn't enough to really see a difference on your heart rate monitor. Well, that's what I've found anyway with my Garmin HR Plus, whatever it's called. So yeah, we'll go finish off this run, which is like zone 2, just to make up some more miles in the old legs.
And in my strength training, I'm trying to keep 2 sessions in as a minimum. And typically it is a lot more upper body work to keep the biceps, obviously, but then a bit more durability on the lower body. Still keeping it heavy, but there's not a crazy amount of volume within that. So we're just gonna get locked in. And with this little chap on the way, you just gotta be up for it, aren't you? Right? So if you've watched this far and you're interested in the ultra journey, or you're just here for dad-to-be fitness and musings along the way, I'm gonna try and diversify the channel a little bit. It's not just gonna be ultra all the time. It's given me a good reason that I'm passionate about parenting. I would say that now. Obviously, I'm going to say that now. And I think there's a certain way men should be with their own health and their own fitness. So that's going to come across on the channel. But I'm here to help as well. If there's any dads to be or any dads with young kids at the moment, it'd be cool to get any tips from you along the way too. And we'll make a good go of it. As I was about to say, hit subscribe if you're here for that kind of content. And I'll be seeing you very soon. Peace.